Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today we're acting to Karma Yoga, moving from doership with desire to doership without desire. Sakama to Nishkama. I was reading this a little bit earlier, and I misread it. It's like moving from doership with desire, and I was like, wait, what? And doership without desire. I didn't quite read it properly. But I was thinking along the lines, do I do this? I was like, I do things I believe with desire, but the result doesn't affect me. Well, I'll say mostly doesn't affect me. And so what I mean by this is kind of what, again, like I learned from what started all of this was the world religion class where it was about Buddhism, and they were saying that, you know, give it give it your best shot, but expect nothing from the results. So that kind of translated to me, I mean, verbatim like that. Obviously, do your best, but don't expect anything from the results. If it turned out great, that's fantastic. If it didn't, then you didn't expect anything at all anyway. So this kind of, perhaps desire is not the right word, but I don't know, maybe, like obviously when I do something, I'd like to do my best and hope that the results are great and to enjoy a good result. But when it doesn't turn out right, I don't suffer from it. But what I should look at it in a way that it's, what did I do wrong so I could do better? So it's not a negative experience, but a learning experience. That's generally how I look at situations. I enjoy the good and learn from the bad. And the bad is not bad. It's just, okay, I learn from the when the outcome is correct. Or sorry, I enjoy when the outcome is correct, and I learn when the outcome is wrong. So it's not good or bad. It's just either I enjoy it or I learn from it. All positive. Again, I don't know if you can really say that for everything, but for the most part, I think you can. So anyways, let's see what he has to say.
The second question is from Mitu B. The seventh verse of the Ashtavakra Samhita says that you are the seer of all. The eighth verse says you are not the doer. Then who is the doer of action?
Oh. You are. But you just said you're not the doer. Well, you aren't. There's this story of the judge, A man came before him with a accusation against somebody else. That person does this, that, and the other. He is guilty. And the judge said, you're right. And the defendant was annoyed. You haven't even heard me. Hear me out. I haven't done it. I am being improperly accused and so on. The judge said, you're right. And the judge's wife was listening at the back, and she whispered to him from behind, are you crazy? How can they both be right? Are you mad? You are right too. Yes. So how are you the doer and how are you not the doer? First of all, what would Advaita Vedanta say about this? And clearly it says that you are not the doer. Ashtavakra, Eko Drashta, see that's the seventh verse. And the eighth verse, I don't remember the Sanskrit, it's something like the doer, the idea of that I am the doer is the black cobra, is the dark serpent. You escape from this and take refuge in the knowledge that I am not the doer. Now what does this mean? Why is it so bad being the doer? Because the moment I am the doer, I am this person. And I'm engaged in action. The moment I'm engaged in action, I am under the law of karma. Karma is upon me. Nobody is free. Vivekananda says, whosoever wears a form. What do you mean wearing a form? I'm wearing a t-shirt, but what's a form? The body. The body. Whosoever wears a form wears the chain too. What's the chain? Good, good, bad, bad, and none escape the law. This law of karma. So the moment I see myself as a doer, I'm responsible for what I do. Whether the law catches me or not, whether the IRS catches me or not, it's inexorable. It's inexorable. The machinery of nature. Religions call it karma, they call it the wrath of God, or whatever you call it. But it's inexorable. Cause will have its effect. Actions have consequences. Now, Advaita Vedanta says, actually, this is good news. You are not the doer. You never were. Vivekananda writes in the same paragraph of the poem, he says, but far beyond is Atman ever free. Far beyond name and form is Atman ever free. No, thou art that sannyasi bold. Say Om Tat Sat Om. How so? Now in the movie, there's the hero doing heroic things, there's a villain doing villainous things. They are doers and they will get their reward. The hero will get the reward and the villain will get the punishment. But if it's a movie, it's a screen, it's light and pictures on a screen. There is no hero, there is no villain, there is no villainous deeds, there is no heroic deeds either. There is only one limitless screen of light and picture and shadow and sound. Similarly, from the non-dual perspective, you are limitless being. You are existence, consciousness, bliss. Vivekananda says something that could be shocking, He says, Vivekananda, he says, all that was done in the past, forget it. It has no existence anymore. Let it go. Just be careful not to do it again.
I was about to say, it's like, I don't know if you can really forget the past. I guess perhaps I'm hoping the better saying would be, don't let the past affect you. As in, don't let, obviously, when you do things that you regret in the past and you think about those and then you get like, oh my gosh, I should have done it differently. And it's affecting you in the present day. I think perhaps those things, obviously, you forget, or you want to remember the past so you don't make the same mistake. That's the whole point from remembering our history, so that we don't make the same mistake. We don't let things happen to us that we don't want to happen to us because we were fooled into it, or we were tricked into it, or whatever the circumstances is that we didn't realize was a bad deal or a bad whatever. We don't want that to happen again, so we must remember our past. But perhaps the saying, again, this is my me trying to interpret this, but I think it's don't let it compromise you. Don't let it emotionally affect you, or don't let it, I guess really the best way to say it's compromise you. Use it as a way to better yourself, not to get tricked, to learn from the past, but don't let it compromise you. Don't let it affect you. Don't let it get you emotionally or intellectually. Use it as a tool to make yourself better. I'm sure that could have been phrased better, but you know what? This is what you get.
Be strong. The results will keep coming from the past. So be strong to withstand the results, because they are not real anyway. They are also part of the movie. The future doesn't exist also. The past doesn't exist also. In one sense, in that case, there's no presence. There's only one reality, beyond time. So that's what he says. So that's from the Advaitic perspective. The show of the world, there is karma, cause and effect. But beyond the show of the world, it's a show. There is only one reality, which is you, the existence, consciousness, bliss. So in that sense, you are not the doer. But in the movie, in the story, there are doers and there are actions and there are consequences. Now, as long as we do not realize that that it's a story, that it's a movie, as long as we think, I am only this person, here is the world, and here is what I have done in the past, and what I'm doing now, and I'm getting consequences of my past actions. How? I see what's happening in my life. Good and bad things are happening. There are consequences of my past action. So what has happened is, the background existence consciousness place that I am the Atman is forgotten, obscured. This is ignorance. I don't know that I am Brahman. I just think I am this person. So Brahman nature obscured, identified with body mind, thinking of itself as a doer. Yes, in that sense you are the doer, because you're clearly getting the results of your actions. Once we are enlightened, we realize we are not the doer. However, it's the real thing is neither ignorance nor knowledge, because the enlightened ones are safe. They know they are not the doer. The unenlightened ones are not interested anyway. They are not here. The problem is with us in between. We realize that, okay, all right, there is this way of going beyond karma, beyond causation, beyond limitation. And in some sense, ultimate sense, I am not the doer. I'm beyond the law of karma, beyond samsara. However, right now I don't feel it. I'm not getting those benefits. I still feel practically that I am the doer and I am suffering in the world. Now what do? I really feel I'm the doer. And until we get enlightened, we can't break out. It's impossible. You'll keep feeling that you are the doer. Then why will you feel? Because we are identified with the body mind. Identified is a very philosophical way of thinking. It's simple statement. We not even think. We are, within quotes, the body mind. And therefore we are doers. And we are caught here. Then what? So here comes the beautiful, powerful method of KarmaYoga. Move from, in Sanskrit it's called Sakama, with desire doership, into no desire doership. Since you cannot escape from the feeling of being a doer. I'm talking, I can't honestly say that I don't have the feeling that I'm not, that I'm talking. I can't say that I am the witness consciousness and there's no talking, nothing, it's just an appearance. I can't right now very strongly say that. You feel you are identified with the body mind. In that case, move from doership with desire to doership without desire. In Sanskrit, from Sakama to Nishkama. Let go of desire. What is there to desire in this world of appearances? Either they are all appearances, the stuff of dream and illusion, or they are nothing other than you. They are already you. The people in this world, the desirable things and activities and places in this world, they are you. Just as everything experienced in a dream is the dreamer. What is there to desire in this world? What is there to be afraid of in this world also? It will not affect you at all. You will still be perfectly safe, not as the body. The body will die. You will still be perfectly safe as the Atman. So, have no desire. Make a beginning there. Say, I want nothing. I am limitless. The all is in me. I am in all. I understand Vedanta at least, even if I don't feel it, even if it's not a living reality for me yet. I get it. And so this is my view, and I'm trying to be at least desireless. I want, at least you can say that, I want to be free of want. So I'm trying to be desireless. I want to be free of want, and then act from that perspective. That's difficult enough. Make a beginning there. So that is the answer to the question, who is the doer? And even after all this, there's a one witness consciousness, this world of appearance. Even then, if you want an accounting, still, things are happening in the world. And I strongly feel there must be a doer. Give me one answer at the end. In ignorance, we think we are the doer. In absolute knowledge, there is no doer, it's the world of appearances. But ultimately, can you give me one doer? Can you put everything, all the accounts in the name of one person, one doer, somebody? And the answer in that case would be, if you really want an answer, God is the only doer. There is one Ishvara. So what's the relationship between this ultimate reality and God? God is that ultimate reality, but with a personality. What a personality. It's the cosmic. So that same consciousness with the cosmic mind and this cosmic body is the one acting through all bodies, thinking through all minds, speaking through all tongues. The real doer is God. And if you ask God, so you are the real doer, God will say, who, me? No. Because God is fully enlightened all the time. God knows that I am that absolute reality. We don't know that we are that absolute. We don't know we are Brahman. If these things are getting mixed up, Sanskrit terms are very clear. Brahman or Nirguna Brahman is the absolute reality. God is called Saguna Brahman, Ishvara. And we are sentient beings, Jiva. The sentient beings can be under ignorance or can be enlightened. Jivan Mukta, the enlightened sentient being. God is always enlightened. No, and being enlightened, also one interesting thing, we can link it back to the earlier question. Three kinds of enlightened beings. Those who don't see the universe at all and want to be merged in Brahman, always remain in as the absolute, in the what one might call the transcendent. Those who see the universe and people and their own bodies like a magic show, as a delight. And those who take it seriously and are full of sympathy and helpfulness. Which one is God? God is the third one. That's why of all the enlightened beings, the third kind are those who are most godlike, who are beneficent to everybody else and try to be helpful.
I was going to say I'm more like the third one, but then when he said that, I was like, well, maybe not then. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, obviously, I try to help if I can. And even in certain situations, if I can, I might not. So that's the reason why maybe not. How do I explain that? If it's something free and easy to give away, I usually can. Again, advice, talking like this, very cheap. Just feed me food and water, I can talk all day. But yeah, like advice and stuff like that. It's very easy to give. Doing research a little bit, or the knowledge that I have that's available, that if I can help out someone, I would say, generally speaking. But if you ask for like money and stuff, I can't exactly do that because I don't really have a lot of it either. So, and it's something that obviously in this in this world, kind of need it. It's part of the rules. So obviously, I am playing my part. But yeah. So anyways, yeah, I thought I was the third, but perhaps not. Saying that I'm God, like, oh, absolutely. Okay, that was it. But I'll say this. I kind of have an issue with saying that you're not the doer. And perhaps because this is my limited knowledge on Advaita Vedanta, but I just do not wish it to... But it always goes back to perhaps karma as well. And that's kind of the lacking. That you are not the doer, but if you're not enlightened, then you will fall into karma. Because as a person who says, I am not the doer, you would then perhaps do bad things and saying, well, it's not me. I'm always enlightened. But if you're not truly enlightened, then you will still fall for karma. And I guess the thing is that enlightened beings will not suffer from karma. It is also, I believe, an illusion as well. Because there's so many mixed messages I get with karma. Karma is usually the rule of the universe, according to certain Eastern philosophies, that kind of people follow, as opposed to Western religion, which has the heaven or hell, eternal punishment or eternal salvation. So if you're bad, you go to eternal hell forever and there's no redemption. Whereas Eastern philosophy, at least in some of the ones that I understand, is karma, meaning that you have in some sense an infinite life until you are enlightened. And until then, you suffer from karma. So if you do bad, you will gain bad karma, and you will suffer your bad karma for all the lives that you are reborn in. So if you are enlightened, what is to stop you from doing bad things? But I guess the saying is that if you are enlightened, you would not be doing bad things. That's the thing that I guess I won't say I struggle with, but I just don't have quite a clear answer, I suppose. I guess because the fact that, again, once you're enlightened, you no longer suffer from karma. you will no longer suffer rebirth. I mean, technically, no one ever escaped rebirth because, well, unless there's no more consciousness there's no more bodies being reborn, or singularity happens. Anyways, that's a bit of let me try to explain that. Because there is only one consciousness, every baby born, that same consciousness that presides in all of us goes into the baby as well. So technically speaking, when a baby is born, the one consciousness is put into that baby. So I am reborn in that baby. So even if I am enlightened, I am reborn into that baby. But that's another. I don't want to bring. That's a bit of a big topic, I'm sure. This is the thing that, as I try to understand Advaita Vedanta, people, there's a saying that if you're not enlightened, you'll be constantly reborn into this world until you develop either good karma, or you become enlightened, or maybe both. Maybe you have to be enlightened to be free from rebirth. But if there is only one consciousness, and your consciousness is free, it's always been free. It's never been chained, really. So even if you're enlightened, you will be reborn because you are always enlightened. You are never not enlightened. And as soon as a baby is born, consciousness will be born. That one consciousness will be implanted. I don't know what the right saying is. It will be in that baby too. The same consciousness that's in you right now is in that newborn baby that just popped out just right now, and now, and now. So, is there no escaping? Man, this is a bit of a different topic than the video, and I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna stop there. It's incomplete. This thing could have been just never spoken. But anyways, it was going back to the doership and the fact that you're not the doer. And I like to believe, and my limit understanding is that I like to believe that you are still the doer, but you don't have to suffer the consequences. And the reason for being the doer is so that you can take responsibility for your action. It's not for you to escape responsibility. And I believe, hopefully there'll be comments hopefully there'll be comments there saying that you are still responsible for your actions, whether you realize you're the doer or not the doer. Because the body and the mind still suffers from karma all the time, no matter what. But you do not. I believe that's what a lot of people will say. It's because even though you are not the doer, the body is the doer, and the body will always suffer from karma. Because karma, the body, and the mind are all part of Maya, or the play. Which I do believe to be true, from my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, therefore, you are... well, the body is the doer, and if you're not enlightened, you are inhabiting the body. And you will suffer what the body suffers. And the karma that the body accumulates. I mean, I just thought of something that just kind of made things complicated, and I don't want to get into that. I just leave it at that. Hopefully that made some sense, because there's a lot of things that went into my mind that had so many questions, and I'm sure I know the answer to it, but I'd rather have confirmation, because, again, like I said, just because I think I know the answer doesn't mean I know the answer. That's true on a lot of things. Anyways, this is my reaction to KarmaYoga, move from doership with desire to doership without desire. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.